Thank you so much. To my dear friend Carol Bellamy, thank you so much for your kind words, but let me just say that amongst my greatest achievements are actually my 6 children and 1 grandchild. So that's really what is the best. It's not often that working women get to say that, because it is such a difficult task. And if I think about the path that I've led and been blessed with, if I'm looking for one thing that I've missed with my children, it's actually being able to read those stories to them before they go to sleep, because they're often asleep before I get home. But they're a wonderful blessing, and I just wanted to say that. My profound gratitude, it is truly my honor here to the Interfaith Center for New York. The last time I dined during Ramadan, and I was walking through here and I said, oh my goodness, it's the Interfaith Center and it's Ramadan and I'm not going to have dinner with them, was actually with the Pope. And it was Ramadan again. And I really didn't know what to do, because there were fewer of us around the table. And I thought if I stood back a little bit, he wouldn't see that I wasn't eating. But he saw. But anyway, that's Ramadan for you. Thank you for this honor, named for such a giant of social justice. And I was so pleased when I saw him walk through James Park Morton. Thank you so much for leading that way. And it's a wonderful, wonderful path that you've had. Thank you even more for bringing people and communities of faiths together every day. I am a woman of faith. In fact, from the earliest age, I started my day with an interfaith breakfast. That breakfast, as I grew up as a Muslim in a multi-religious family, and also the oldest of 5 daughters. My father was a Nigerian veterinary doctor. My mother was a Welsh nurse, whose own father was a Presbyterian minister, and I can tell you, when they chose to send us to school in the UK for a little while, they chose where he had his ministry, which is in a little island called the Isle of Man, with many Welsh cats, so many Manx cats. And they did that because they didn't want to get us to get into mischief. Staying in London was not such a good idea, so we were on the island. But we had such a wonderful life, and I lived my life seeing through 2 lenses and many perspectives and cultures. I grew up in the same place that gave birth to Boko Haram. And I say that because that is a terrorist group for which it has given a face to the Islamic faith, one that is not our face. When I think about it, I grew up there. Today I'm the Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General. And I just want to say that terrorists aren't born. There are reasons behind what makes them do such terrible and atrocious things. And I think that we need to give more thought to what it is in a community that I grew up in, and that I was fortunate enough to become today the Deputy Secretary General, never planned it, and what is it that we took away from them that gave them no alternative but violence. As the Deputy Secretary General, it sounds like a really fancy job title, but it's really very simple. It is about serving humanity. It's about helping to build a world where every girl and boy has the tools and the structures to support and make their dreams a reality. Yes, that mission is rooted in the UN Charter, but it's also anchored in my faith, and I'm sure all of the faiths that are in this room. And it's reflected in all I've come to know about many, many of the friends that I've traveled along this path. I deeply believe that the core of religion is about understanding. It is about dignity. It is about mutual respect. It is about pulling together all our individual threads that make a stronger fabric for our society. As Secretary General Antonio Guterres often says, communities everywhere are becoming more multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious. And we need to find ways to ensure that diversity is not a source of division, but a source of strength. Yes, we all have our work cut out for us today, and I can say it's a very challenging world. But I have faith every time there is a really tough journey that one has to take serving the United Nations. It is prayer that gets me through, faith, and leaning out and reaching out to others with different faiths. It doesn't really matter. I always say there is one God. There are just many different paths. I have faith when I look out at you tonight and when I reflect upon the difference that each and every one of you have made. And I'm profoundly grateful for this recognition on behalf of the UN. And I thank you even more for what you do to build every day communities of tolerance, societies of solidarity, and foundations of hope. Thank you for showing that regardless of our individual faiths, that we must have faith in each other and in our common humanity. That is the way to make our world a much better place. One day, one life, one community at a time. Thank you so much. Thank you.